Most people think canned food is perfect for winter survival. It lasts for years, requires no refrigerator, and can be eaten straight from the can. But experienced homeless people avoid certain canned foods in winter because some of them actually make cold nights harder to survive. Here's the thing about canned soup. It looks like the perfect winter food. When people imagine winter survival, they usually picture something warm, like soup. The problem is that canned soup only works if you can heat it. For someone living outside, heating food is often impossible. Many homeless individuals don't have consistent access to stoves, shelters, or safe cooking equipment, and eating soup straight from the can during freezing weather can actually feel worse than helpful. Another issue is calories. Most canned soups contain 150 to 200 calories per can, sometimes even less, which is extremely low when the body may be burning 3,500 to 4,000 calories per day just trying to maintain body heat. Experienced homeless people often say soup feels filling at first, but leaves them hungry again very quickly. One outreach worker explained that many people eventually stop carrying soup because it takes up space and weight without providing enough energy. Pretty quickly, they learned something important about winter survival. Food that feels comforting doesn't always provide the energy needed to survive the cold. Canned fruit might seem like a good option because it's sweet, easy to eat, and widely available in food donations. But winter survival changes the way people think about food. Most canned fruits are packed in syrup or juice, which means they contain a lot of sugar and water, but very little protein or fat. Sugar gives a quick burst of energy, but it doesn't last long. In freezing temperatures, the body needs steady fuel to maintain heat, and when someone eats high-sugar food, their energy can spike and then crash shortly afterward. Experienced homeless people often notice that sugary foods can leave them feeling colder later, which is why many prefer foods that release energy slowly instead of quickly. Another issue is hydration. The syrup inside canned fruit can increase thirst because of the sugar content, and when water sources freeze or become difficult to access, that becomes a real problem. Because of this, canned fruit is often treated more like a snack rather than a survival food during winter. It tastes good, but it doesn't always help someone make it through a long, cold night. Now here's something most people don't realize about canned vegetables. They're extremely low in calories. A full can of vegetables like green beans, corn, or carrots may only contain 60 to 120 calories total. Vegetables are healthy, but they aren't designed to provide large amounts of energy. For someone living indoors with regular meals, vegetables are great. But for someone living outside in winter, calorie density becomes extremely important. Experienced homeless people often talk about carrying food that provides the most energy for the least weight, and a heavy can that only provides a small amount of calories quickly becomes inefficient. One person explained that he once carried 3 cans of vegetables thinking it would last him several days, only to realize he finished them quickly and was still hungry afterward. Winter survival changes the way people evaluate food. Instead of thinking about vitamins or healthy ingredients, they begin focusing on energy and warmth. Vegetables can still be helpful when combined with other foods, but by themselves, they rarely provide enough energy to support someone through a freezing night. That's why many experienced homeless individuals avoid carrying them during the coldest months. Canned sardines are often considered a survival food because they contain protein and fats. And that part is true. Sardines can provide around 200 calories per can, which is higher than many other canned foods. But there are still reasons some homeless people avoid them in winter. The first issue is smell. Sardines have a very strong odor once opened. Makes sense, right? When someone is sleeping in public spaces, strong food smells can attract attention from animals or other people nearby. Another issue is sodium. Many sardine products contain 300 to 400 milligrams of sodium per serving. High sodium levels can increase thirst and dehydration. In winter, access to water is not always easy. Public fountains may be shut off, and water sources may freeze overnight. One outreach worker explained that dehydration actually increases the risk of hypothermia because the body struggles to regulate temperature without enough fluids. That doesn't mean nobody eats sardines. Many still do because of the protein and fats. But experienced individuals often choose lower sodium versions or limit how often they rely on them during the coldest weeks of winter. Winter survival forces people to think about consequences most shoppers never notice. Canned chili seems like it should be perfect for winter. It contains beans, meat, and sometimes over 400 calories per can. But there's a catch. Chili is extremely thick and heavy. When eaten cold, straight from the can, it can be difficult to digest and uncomfortable to eat. Many homeless individuals say chili works much better when heated. When it's hot, it provides warmth and energy, but when eaten cold, the experience can be unpleasant. Another issue is sodium, again. Some canned chili products contain over 900 milligrams of sodium per serving. That's a huge amount of salt for a single meal. High sodium combined with cold weather can increase thirst. If someone doesn't have easy access to drinking water, that becomes a serious inconvenience. Experienced homeless individuals often prefer foods that are easy to eat quickly without creating extra problems afterward. Chili can still be useful if someone has access to a place where they can warm food, but without heat, many people eventually avoid carrying it during winter. Not because it's bad food, because winter survival changes how practical certain foods become. Canned pasta meals like ravioli or spaghetti are very common in food donations. They're cheap, filling, and easy to find in almost any grocery store. Makes sense, right? The problem is that these foods are designed to be eaten warm. When eaten cold, the sauce becomes thick and the pasta texture changes dramatically. Many homeless individuals say canned pasta feels heavy and uncomfortable when eaten straight from the can during freezing weather. Another issue is portion size. A single can often contain 200 to 250 calories, which again is relatively low compared to what the body needs in cold environments. Experienced homeless people eventually learn to prioritize foods that deliver a lot of energy quickly. If a food requires heating to be enjoyable or useful, it becomes less reliable during winter. That's why canned pasta often disappears from the list of foods people carry once temperatures start dropping below freezing. Cheap canned meals are everywhere. Grocery stores sell them for $1 or $2 per can, making them attractive for anyone trying to stretch a limited budget. But these products often come with trade-offs. Many inexpensive canned meals contain large amounts of fillers like water, starch, and sauce instead of dense calories. Makes sense, right? Lower price often means lower ingredient quality. Experienced homeless individuals sometimes say these cans feel heavy but don't provide enough energy to justify carrying them. Another issue is variety. Many cheap canned meals taste very similar because they rely heavily on salt and seasoning instead of protein or fats. Over time, people begin choosing foods that provide more reliable nutrition for the weight they carry. When someone is walking several miles a day and carrying everything they own, even small decisions about food, weight start to matter. Winter survival turns food selection into a practical calculation. It's not just about what tastes good. It's about what actually helps someone make it through the night. Winter survival isn't just about finding food. It's about using food strategically to maintain body heat. Many experienced homeless individuals try to eat their largest meals in the evening. Makes sense, right? Eating before sleeping helps the body generate heat during the coldest hours of the night. Another strategy is spacing meals throughout the day instead of eating everything at once. Smaller portions allow the body to maintain energy levels more consistently. Some individuals also carry foods that can be eaten quickly while walking. When temperatures drop below freezing, staying active helps maintain body heat. Hydration is another important factor. Even during cold weather, dehydration can increase the risk of hypothermia. Outreach workers often encourage people to drink water regularly, even when they don't feel thirsty. Experienced homeless individuals eventually learn to combine food choices with movement, shelter, and timing. Survival becomes a combination of small habits rather than a single solution. When people imagine survival, they often think about finding food first. But experienced homeless individuals often say winter survival is really about maintaining body heat. Food becomes important because it fuels the body's ability to stay warm. During cold nights, the human body burns calories simply to maintain normal temperature. Without enough energy, the body begins losing heat faster than it can replace it. That's why calorie-dense foods become so important during winter. Foods rich in fats, proteins, and carbohydrates help the body generate warmth and maintain energy levels overnight. Experienced homeless individuals also focus on combining food with other survival strategies. Finding shelter from wind, layering clothing, and staying dry often matter just as much as food itself. Food simply supports the body's ability to handle those conditions. Winter survival isn't about having perfect meals. It's about having enough energy to make it through another cold night and wake up the next morning. And for people living outside, that small difference can mean everything.